The Chapter 266 leaks are here, so if you don't want spoilers, back out now. The chapter starts with Yuji listening to Megami's soul. Megami says something along the lines of he wanted to create a world where Sumiki wouldn't have to face the unfairness of the current world. Megami then explains to us what true happiness would have been for him, like eating meals that were made out of restlessness, watching sunbeams hit their laundry on the clothesline, and seeing Sumiki stand next to a person just like Yuji. Then Fushiguro says, "I've had enough." Yuji then begins to tell him about when his grandpa got diagnosed with lung cancer. The doctors offered him a rough treatment, but he declined. Yuji says that maybe his grandpa thought his body was tough enough to do without it. The hospital would throw around euthanasia, which Yuji said it didn't feel right because it felt like someone else's choice. Euthanasia is defined as a painless way to go for people who are terminally ill. Yuji then says, "I can't tell you to keep going." The POV switches back to the battlefield and Sukuna is using the simple domain Hollow Wicker Basket. Sukuna then says he wants to use Gojo's method of replenishing a curse technique while inside of a domain, but the risk is too great because the effects from Gojo's infinite void are still looming. This page was a little hard to explain, so lock in and let's read this translation together. Narrator: in contrast to a domain where one actualizes a mental image, the output required for techniques like Hollow Wicker Basket or Simple Domain is little. It allows a sorcerer to buy time until the sure hit technique imbued within a domain hits them, but eventually without fail, they will be overpowered. However, Sukuna is able to supplement the output by maintaining the hand sign even after Hollow Wicker Basket's activation. This allows him to continue fighting without being overpowered within a domain. Then we get a few pages of them just throwing hands. Sukuna's pretty mad. He says, "Who would have thought being looked down on would fill me with such rage?" We then see a panel of Kid Megami with Yuji, and Kid Megami says, "What's with the face?" And Yuji says, "It'll be so lonely without you, Fushiguro." Alright, here we go. Sukuna says, "My 10 Shadows technique stopped functioning after Maharaga was destroyed. This is Megami's? His soul was submerged in the bath, and yet the brat's dismantles breathed new life into it." After a few more pages of them throwing hands, Sukuna says his strikes have an inescapable effect. "He's gonna break my Hollow Wicker Basket." Next page, you guessed it. Sukuna holds up the famous hand sign. Yuji's shocked and says he recovered his curse technique. "That's Gojo Sensei's," referring to the hand sign. And Sukuna says, "Domain expansion." We then get to the last page where there's a finger and what looks like a staircase. I used AI to color this picture because I really wanted you guys to see it. Editor's note: what's this finger? No break next week, and JJK will be on the cover of Weekly Shonen Jump with a full color spread. Let me know what you think down in the comments.